guys, welcome back. I'm Rebecca, and today I am in the kitchen making not so much a salve as I am a balm. So full disclosure, I made this video once already with a completely different recipe and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that it turned out. It didn't turn out as expected, so I am doing it over again. Originally, I planned to make this, well, I did make it. I made a warming ginger and cayenne salve, which this is the result. Super cute, right? Got a cute little tin for it. It does not warm, nor does it tingle or do anything like that. So the whole purpose of me doing this was to use in place of like a, I was going to say WD-40, but that's not it, a Bengay, or, you know, some sort of sports rub that you put in your shoulder or wherever you have an ache or pain, because I'm really trying to get away from pharmaceuticals and more into doing things that I can make on my own, home remedies. So I thought this sounded great, right? I infused the oil, did the whole thing. There was no warming, there was none of that. So, I mean, aside from it being really pretty, it doesn't do anything. So unfortunately, it was a waste. But I did some research and I bought some things that I think are going to actually make this more like a sports rub or a balm. Technically, I guess this isn't a salve because I'm not infusing the oil with any sort of herbs or spices. What I'm doing is taking an all organic oil. I'm using sunflower oil because it's supposed to be less greasy. I did some research and read up on some things. So I'm going to use that. And what I did was I bought 100% organic menthol crystals, and then I also bought a menthol oil. So I'm going to use these in the hopes that this will have the desired effect of what I was looking for. Fingers crossed. I hope I'm not doing this for nothing. But like I said, I'm really trying to get away from pharmaceutical things and using more homeopathic, home herbal type remedies that I'm not going to the pharmacy for. So my husband actually just graduated from physical therapy from a shoulder injury, which thankfully he did not end up needing surgery on, but he is still in some pain. He's tried a couple of different rubs, none that he completely likes for one reason or another. They're too oily, they're too smelly. I hope that I can put together the right combination, that this is something that he will actually prefer to use. So I am going to show you guys how to do that. And I also want to show you in a sec, I have been putting together my own home apothecary and I've really enjoyed doing it. It's been super fun, besides the fact that it is really fun to look at. I personally love it. And so I know some of you will like it too. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tell you what the recipe is first. It's not a hard recipe, but I can pretty much guarantee that most of you do not have menthol crystals in your home. I didn't even know that was a thing. Or menthol oil, which also I had no idea. The only menthol I think of is menthol cigarettes, which gross. So it is, for this recipe, I'm doing 1 cup of the sunflower oil, a 1/4 cup of beeswax, which I have the little beeswax pellets, a teaspoon of the menthol crystals, and then I'm changing up the oils that are in here. So in addition to the crystals, I'm also going to be using the menthol oil. I don't want it to be too strong, but I also don't want it to be so little that you're not going to get the effect. I'd rather go a little heavy-handed as opposed to not enough. And then, so like this recipe calls for eucalyptus oil and rosemary oil, which I am not using those. I'm going to use peppermint oil instead. Hopefully that'll give it a nice smell to go along with the menthol. So let's get started. For this recipe, you're supposed to use a double boiler. I don't have one, so I just used a pot with some water in it and a glass mason jar. Just be careful you don't burn yourself. I added 1 cup of the organic sunflower oil into the pot and got it nice and warm. I just got my oil into my makeshift double boiler, and I wanted to show you guys the little home apothecary that I put together. Let me turn on the light. And I can get you turned around and show you how cute this is. So what I've done is just gone to thrift stores, well, one thrift store in particular, and and a couple of, what is it, antique stores, and I have gotten myself really just the cutest little jars and containers to put things in. That brown jar we dug up in our backyard, so I'm sure it's pretty old. I can't believe it's still in one piece. Anyways, so what I've done is put a bunch of things that you can make home remedies and herbal remedies out of into these little jars. I made my own labels for them, which came out really cute. I wanted to have like an aged paper look, so what I did was I took some just regular old printer paper, and I put some coffee and some tea. Okay, there we go. I put some coffee and some tea onto a cookie sheet, and then I put the paper on there and I let it sit for a while, and then I also put a tea bag on there and some coffee grounds, and you let it sit and kind of mix it up a little bit, and then you drain any liquid from it and you throw it into the oven on very low setting, like 200 degrees, for like, I don't even know. I'm really bad at that. I don't ever check times. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't long. You just throw it in until it dries, and it comes out this really cute looking, like aged paper. I really like here's the, oh, you can't really see. Here's the sage. There we go. I don't know. I really like the way that it looked. I saved money by not going out to a store or ordering labels online, because I have seen some really cute labels online. But anyways, this is where I can make teas if I'm not feeling well, or if my family's not feeling well, or just, you know, if somebody has a cut, you can use things for wounds, like just natural remedies that I'm really excited about using, drinking, having for any sort of medical, not emergency, but issue. I am by no means an herbalist, so obviously you want to talk to your doctor before you start any sort of herbal remedy, but it's just something that I've been really into lately. Plus it's got glass doors, so you can see right through them. And since nobody drinks alcohol in my house anymore, I got rid of all the alcohol glasses, because what is the point of having? I had those two covers full of alcohol glasses, and nobody drinks alcohol, so there really was no point. This is much more beautiful, and it just makes my weird little heart happy. So I can hear my oil is starting to boil, so let's move on to the next step. Also, you don't want your oil to boil. You don't want your oil to boil. I can hear the water heating up though. What I wanted to do was heat up the water before I added my beeswax. So I'm just going to turn the heat down real low. I'm going to add the beeswax into my double boiler, and I'm going to get that all incorporated, and then we will add our oils and our menthol crystals. Okay, so my beeswax is completely melted. It really doesn't take a long time. Once it's melted, you just want to, the sun is really, it's not a good spot for the sun. You want to remove the oil and the beeswax from the heat. I need to do something about that sun. Okay, that's a little better. This is what the, get it to focus. This is what the crystals look like. I really had never heard of such a thing. I'm just going to measure out about a teaspoon, and I'm going to mix those in there. And then I'm also going to add in my menthol oil, which did not come with any sort of dropper or anything. I'm going to add probably about a half teaspoon. And then I'm going to add about 20 drops of my peppermint oil. And I'm just going to let that all combine. Okay, so once this is removed from the heating element, it's going to start to set really quickly because of the beeswax. You can already see it setting around the top of my makeshift double boiler here. So you want to carefully remove it, put it into a pourable container, and then we're going to add it to our tins. Okay, so this is very minty and menthol-y. You can see how it already starts to harden once it's been removed. So you want to do this pretty quickly. You don't want to leave this sitting around not on any heat. So I figured I used about a cup of oil and I filled 5 of these tins when I made the first, what we'll call experiment for the salve that did not work. I am just going to see how, if you can see how it's all dried in there, I am just going to melt this back down and get the rest of this into the tins, and then we're just going to let them harden and see if it actually worked. Okay, I got the rest of the oil melted back down, put it back into the tins, and now I'm just going to wait for it to harden. It really doesn't take that long, but you do want to make sure it's hardened all the way. The more beeswax you put into it, the harder it's going to be. If you want it more of like an ointment, you're going to add less beeswax, probably about 3/4 of an ounce instead of 1 ounce. I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner. I got some great looking peppers from the farmer's market today. I'm gonna cook up some stuffed peppers and I'll be back and hopefully this will have worked. Dinner's done. This balm has set. And we tried it. We tried a different one. Well, I mean, just not this one. It worked. I tried it on the back of my hand, so my skin is pretty sensitive there. It's not tough, and I can still feel it. It's been a really long time. It did take a couple of minutes to set in. It wasn't like an instant thing, but it actually works, and my husband said it's working. I put it on his shoulder. It's working. It's tingling. Works really good. So I have a tin for us, and then I have, where am I? I'm somehow missing a tin. I don't know where it is. How did that happen? I have 5 tins. I don't know. One of them is missing right now. It's lost in the matrix somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, my mom suffers from arthritis, so I am actually going to give one of these to her, and if I come across anyone else in my path who is suffering from some sort of pain or ache, I will give them to them as well. So the other nice thing about this is that, so this has no color to it. The other one that I made had turmeric in it. And if you've ever used turmeric, so my battery just died halfway through me talking. But what I was saying is that turmeric will stain everything that it touches. Like, forget ever having anything that had turmeric in it in your Tupperware. It definitely will stain that, which I was afraid of when I made it, and I thought, oh no, I hope this doesn't stain your skin, which I guess it really didn't, but it, like, when you put it on, it definitely was a color. We'll just say that. So it's pretty, but this one I am happy to say worked much better. So I'm actually going to add this to my cabinet of my apothecary that I'm making. So I know there was a couple other things I wanted to mention, and I don't remember what they are right now, and I feel like every time I make a video I seem to forget the English language entirely and words just don't come to me. So anyways, it is what it is. It feels great to make a video again. I know it's been a long time, but life. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope that if you're interested in doing your own sort of remedies and stuff like that, that you give this one a try. like I said, most people probably are not going to have the menthol things. They were really affordable, and I spent less than $20, I think, to get the ingredients that I needed. So if you want to give it a try, please do. Let me know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.